Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Onrain Tech Corner, the corner of the web where we talk about tech. And this is a video that should have been done last week, but I've been busy with life stuff. This is my thoughts on the most recent Apple event. Let's get started. Okay, so the recent Apple event covered a few things, new Apple Watches, new AirPods, and most importantly new iPhones, which is going to come into play to a later video, should be following this video. Let's get through this in order. I'm going to skip the AirPods because it's more or less the same, better chip, better ear quality, or better sound quality. Nothing much really new out of this. So with the Apple Watch Series 8, not only are we getting new watch OS, but we're getting bigger screen, always on display, car crash detection, which is kind of an interesting thing. It's almost like fall detection that we already have in the Apple Watch and also the iPhone, but it's for when you get into a car crash. I hope none of us get into a car crash because, let's be honest, that sucks. And with always on display being said, it has a new bigger battery with up to 18 hours of battery life with from a full charge with regular power mode, and up to 36 hour in low battery mode from full charge. So that should really help if people use their watch like all day. As you can see, I don't have a watch, so I probably won't be using an Apple Watch anytime soon. And it introduces international roaming, which is actually kind of neat. We already got that kind of sorta on iPhones. Most iPhones you can actually just swap out a SIM if you're going from here to the US, or like here in Canada to the US, or here in Canada to some parts in Asia, the UK, that sort of deal. It will just work with those carriers if the GSM supports it. So the new Apple Watches start at $399 US for the Wi-Fi only, and $499 USD for GPS to cellular. So I think it's still using the old price, just for the new watch, which is nice. They also introduced the Apple Watch SE. So just like the iPhone, I think this is the second generation SE if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, it has it's faster and bigger than the Series 3. Actually, I'm just kind of noticing that comparing it to the Series 3 when we got the Series 8. That's interesting. Longer battery life, so usual. And then it starts at $249 US and for the Wi-Fi only, and $299 US for the GPS and cellular. So if I were to go for a Apple Watch, I'll probably go for the SE. And then they just kind of threw a curveball and released the Apple Watch Ultra, which is basically the Apple Watch Pro or the iPhone Pro for the Apple Watch. And instead of a aluminum case, side note, I really miss Jonathan Heiss when he says aluminium, because we say aluminum on this side of the pond. Instead of a aluminum or aluminium case, it comes with a titanium case, which I think the last time I heard of titanium was when Steve Jobs asked that to be put into an iMac. Was it the iMac or the MacBook? I don't know. We'll figure it out later. A second speaker and additional mics for better sound quality when making calls, or if you're listening to music, you can hear it better through your watch. And there's no Wi-Fi only models. It only comes with the cellular and GPS, which is not bad. It just means there's no cheaper alternative. 36-hour battery life with up to 60-hour with a software update, which apparently is coming at a later date. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. It comes with a night mode, which comes in a nice, cool, like a red face with a black background. It really looks nice. It comes with a compass, depth meter if you're going to be diving with this. Satellite GPS, which we will get to more when we get into the iPhone 14 section of this. A nice little feature I noticed here is backtrack. You know, on Grand Theft Auto 5 or even Red Dead, I think, you select a place and it will give you directions how to get there in its map. It's kind of like that in reverse. It will give you directions back to the last waypoint, or directions to the waypoint of your choosing. Like if you have a campsite, you can go there. You can set the waypoint, and then you can have it track back to that. It really is a nice addition if you're going camping and hiking. It also has the addition of a alarm, not the set it for 6:30 in the morning, it'll go off kind of deal. It has an alarm if you get lost or you get separated from your friends or family. You can press it using the new action button, and it will give off a tone that can go up to a few hundred meters, and then they'll be able to find you if they hear the noise. Yeah, and all of that comes into this $800 price tag. Like, oh man, I think I paid that for my last phone. That's an expensive watch. Rolex, you got some competition now. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to skip the AirPods because it's nothing we really haven't heard of before. And we're going to skip right to the exciting part, the new iPhone 14. Okay, so the new iPhone 14 comes in a regular and a plus. So there is no mini. The regular is technically the mini. And it comes in a 6.1 or 6.7 inch screen. Improved thermals, which I haven't really used a flagship iPhone in a while, but yeah, sometimes the SE2 really had some thermaling issues. Sorry, 1200 nit brightness, which is especially good for the HDR content. But it does come with last year's Pro chip, which is the A15 Bionic. So you're kind of getting last year's best model for this year's cheapest price, which is a 5-core GPU, 6-core CPU, which has 2 performance cores, 4 efficient, better battery, and a cool little feature I'm looking forward to trying out is front-facing autofocus. Now before it was just like a static camera, now it can do autofocus just like the back camera. And a new feature that's going to be really cool is action mode. What that does is kind of like a stabilizer, so you wouldn't have to use a gimbal. You can just run with your iPhone and it will just steady the shot. And then moving on from the cameras, we got eSIM. I don't know if they had it in last year's model or not, but I know all American models have no SIM tray anymore. I don't know about the Canadian models. We'll figure it out when I do my unboxing. But yeah, the new eSIM scenario is kind of a neat idea. You know, rather than the SIM card, losing a SIM card or having to get one replaced every time, the carriers just set up on the phone. They label it as a great thing for stolen iPhones. So we'll see where it's at in a couple of years. Alright, and getting back to what I was mentioning before with the Apple Watch, there's a new feature called SOS Satellite. SOS via satellite. And that's for hiking or where you get injured on a hiking trail and there's no cellular service or anything. It's also great if you got no cellular service and you're broken down, because there's a lot of roads especially in Canada, where there's no service. So that's going to help. And basically what that does is there's like emergency satellites in lower orbit, and it will help your phone track down those satellites and be able to use that to get messages out and possibly receive messages. They weren't really clear on the receiving part, but is to connect you with emergency satellites when there's no cellular service. The watch has that, and they call it something different. Let me go back to my notes here. Yeah, they just call it satellite GPS. But I imagine it will work very similarly, or it could just be the GPS. I'm not 100% sure on that one. But that's going to start rolling out in November. It's going to be rolling out in the United States and Canada, starting in November. And everybody who purchases an iPhone, the new iPhone I should say, gets it 2 years free. And to purchase the iPhone 14, it starts at $799 for the regular and $899 for the Plus. And it goes up from there. I think it starts at 128 gig storage. 128 gig storage to start and 1 terabyte. Now, here's the part I'm excited for. The 14 Pro. It comes in the same 6.1 and 6.7 inch screen. But they moved the notch from top of the screen, less intrusive, to somewhere in the middle of the top of the screen for some reason. Like, the notch is more noticeable, if that's possible. I'll put an image up here to kind of show what I mean. Yeah, it comes with 1600 nit HDR brightness, 2000 nit outdoor brightness, always on display, probably just on the lock screen, but that's actually kind of a cool thing, but my iPhone SE2 kind of has a neat little feature where you can just hold it up, and if you hold it in the right orientation, it detects your face, it will show the lock screen. The main selling point for me with the iPhone 14 Pro is the A16 Bionic chip. It's the newer chip, it's faster. Still comes with a 6-core CPU with 2 efficient cores, 4 efficiency cores, 5-core GPU, but I'm pretty sure the performance is bumped up from the A15. And the Pro camera, now they say Pro camera up to 4K at 30 FPS. I'm not sure if that's back facing or front facing, because I know on my SE2 I can get 4K 30 on the back camera, but I'll definitely have to try that out when I do the review. And the Pro starts at $1,000 US, and the Pro Max starts at $1,099. And again, it goes from 128 gig storage up to 1 terabyte. That seems to be about it. Just kind of the standard thing. They try to compare to themselves to try and better themselves, even though on the Android side you can get faster hardware, but Apple makes iOS only for the iPhones rather than Google making Android for many phones. So you're going to get a little more of an optimized experience on iPhone, at least from my experience. But yeah, so what's my final thoughts? It's kind of an interesting upgrade, like satellite GPS and the SOS via satellite. Those are some features that it's going to be actually kind of game changing, if I'm being honest. I'm not sure if we've got anything like that on the Android side, but yeah, Apple's coming out hard and hitting heavy. So yeah, we're going to see where all this technology goes in the next couple of years. But yeah, be on the lookout for my iPhone 14 Pro unboxing and review coming up in later videos. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the next video.